Good morning from behind a dirty windshield. This is Primarily Vlogs, and I am Danielle. If you like what we do here, don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. Maybe subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Well, really, rehab horses and Primarily Hooves would really appreciate it. I'm just serving them. I'm just here to serve them. Do y'all ever driving? It doesn't really matter what lane, but for our purposes, let's say in the left lane, somebody's trying to merge in, from the left to the right, and your turn is coming up, so you don't want to move over to the right to let them in. Not because you don't want to let them in, but because you might not make it back to the left in time to make your turn. Does that ever happen to y'all? And so they get, kind of jammed up. It wasn't the worst, but they had to kind of stop before they could merge, into the right. And you just think, man, I bet that guy thinks I'm a jerk, because my right lane was totally open. I could have moved over. And he doesn't know I'm turning left soon, I know if it were me and I was in, his shoes, I would have looked at me and been like, oh, that stupid SUV. How rude, But, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it back over to the left. If I move over for you right now, I might not make it back over for my turn. I'm not a jerk, I promise. I don't want to be doing the old zoo thing, 45 minutes after I've woken up. I don't know. I think about these things. I know I would think I was a jerk. Maybe not everybody is quite so cynical. I'm not a jerk, I promise. It'd be nice if he was behind me and pulled at the gas station with me, and I could say, man, I'm not a jerk, I promise. And he'd say, yeah, okay, whatever. Also, who are you? Stranger danger. So, y'all ever feel that way, or is that just me? Oh, it's just me? Alright, well, be like that then. This poor truck in front of me is not where he belongs. Let's see where he's going. Looks like we almost lost him. He's gonna make a left up there. Man, I don't know if this is just, well, the cop didn't see anything wrong with it. Maybe he needs to get in there. This is just not where, he so much belongs. Bless his heart. Honey, I think your GPS lied to you. That's no good. Yeah, no, that's no good. I don't know, maybe he knows what he's doing. But as somebody who has driven a horse trailer through this area, it's not really where you want to drive something real big. And you don't ever see him. That's the thing. It's like, he's totally out of place. You never see semis through here, so you wonder if maybe he's new and his GPS has steered him wrong. It happens. Turn my heated equipment off. Now my car is plenty warm. Oh, my vest has already turned itself off. I am plumb unhappy. If you know me, you know I love my heated vest. I got it November of 2021 as a birthday present from just the best horse mentor you could ever ask for. And I've worn the snot out of this thing. And it's turning off on its own. It's not supposed to do that. Now, I haven't troubleshooted it, whether it's the battery. It could be the battery. I have another battery I need to switch to see if it does it with the other battery. And man, if it does, I'm contacting the company because this thing should last more than a year. I'm sure it's out of its warranty, but I mean, I'll buy another one. Let's be honest, this thing's great. If I have to buy one a year, then I buy one a year. Can't afford to buy one a year, but I'll buy one a year. Like the YouTube channel, so your girl can afford her heated vest. That's not why I started this, though. I started this because I have a question about your dogs. Are your dogs entitled brats that act as if you're an inconvenience upon their lives? Because mine do. And not during the day. Not during the day. If you know me and you've met my dogs, you know dog at the road. Get out of the road, little beagle dog. That's Basset Hound. If you know me and you know my dogs, you know that we all take pride in being well behaved. And they do a really good job. You know, Blue especially takes lots of pride in being well behaved. And Mr. Pup, he's getting there. We are officially over, like, you know, that hump of training hump, going from being a 7-year-old do whatever I want to do boy to being a well-behaved Primarily Hooves boy. His last remaining issue, like, the obedience is going really well. His last remaining issue is his whining, which I think he's probably done since he was a puppy. It is deep in him, but I mean, even that hump is greatly hurdled over, because when it's just me, Laura, and him doing farm stuff, running errands, like the normal stuff, maybe I have to remind him one time, maybe. And there's been, here recently, when he's waiting for food, you know, it's the only time I've had to remind him. He's been quiet boy. When he sees clients, when, you know, it's kind of outside of the normal routine, he gets a little like, oh, maybe these people will, you know, like, pay attention to me if I whine. So he's still struggling with that. But in his defense, it is harder to give corrections when you're around people, you know, because, oh, he just wants something. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. This is a behavior he's learned. Anyway, it's not about that. He's doing really good. Not about that. What it's about is, so, especially these last few days, so I've been spending a ton of time inside the house at the farm working on my super secret project. And so my dogs are on their place command, passed out, just asleep. And, I mean, for, like, the whole day. It's mind-numbing. But they don't mind. They're just asleep. And so then, like, last night, I get home, settle down on the computer, to then put, you know, 6 more hours into my super secret project for y'all. It's for all of us, really. I hope you guys like it. And I've asked them to lay down behind me. They're passed out. I mean, they're just asleep on the floor there for hours. I work until, you know, is it late into the morning, early into the morning, and then I get to a feasible stopping point. It's time to shut her on down. I have to finally get a couple hours of sleep before starting my day. And, you know, they have to get up because it's time to, you know, they go potty one more time, and, you know, it's time to, like, get motivated to go to bed, really go to bed. I'm, you know, taking my contacts out, doing things. And they're looking at me just yawning, just trying to, you know, get back to bed, as if, like, I am inconveniencing them by waking them up. You know, like, how dare I wake them up? I mean, the looks on their faces is just me in the morning. It's hilarious. And I'm like, you guys aren't tired. You know, all you've done is slept. You're not tired. And so then, you know, they were more than excited to go back to bed. And so then this morning, you know, I'm up. I'm getting dressed, preparing to go let them out. And they have not moved. They are just, I mean, passed out. Every now and again, like, an eye opens and looks at me like, oh, it's too early for this. And I'm like, first, mood. Yes, it is. I would love to still be in bed. Second, in the last 48 hours, you guys have only been awake for, like, maybe 2 of those hours. What are you doing? You know, why are you looking at me like that? Then, you know, it's like go time. It's time for them to, you know, go out and go potty. And, I mean, they're, like, stumbling over to get their collars put on, yawning, and just, like... Now, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I so relate. I am there. I am with it 100%. But, like, I have reason to. I've been staring at computer screens, typing in numbers, running on, you know, 4 hours of sleep. What have they been doing? You know, they've been sleeping. I guess it's one of those, like, you know, when you have a day off and you just sleep the whole day, and then you're almost more tired because you've slept too much, you know? And maybe it's one of those things. I don't know. They're just hilarious. I'm just like, cut your hair and get a real job. What are you doing, you know? Oh, I love it. Yeah, no, that's all I had to say. No idea what's happened with that truck. Hopefully he'll make it to where he needs to go. I'll be thinking about him, but that is all I had. We are at the farm, ready to rock and roll, ready to get more stuff done. It's supposed to rain. I hope it does, because when it's raining, I feel less guilty about having to, you know, be stuck on here, the tablet. Whereas when it's a nice day, you've got hopes of trim and things to do. Oh, I'm pretty proud. I got a little bit written at the gas station for Patreon post. If I can do one post a week while I'm working on this big project, I'm going to be pretty impressed and proud of myself. Because, shoot, as long as I can have some gas station time, I should be able to, because I'm drawing the line at working on my project from the gas station, because it's really not something I can do on the phone. I get a lot done on my little cell phone, but man, my big fat hoof trimming fingers really draw the line at the stuff that I'm doing for this project. That's just too fiddly. The screen's just not big enough yet. I don't want a bigger phone. I got a phone ordered because it's time, and I think the screen's going to be a little bigger, but I've made sure, you know, they like make the iPhone Super Pro Max giant 72-inch, and I'm staying away from those. I can't do that. Whatever phone I get has got to be able to fit in my back pocket, and a little bit bigger I think still will. Oh, Lauren is already at it, so we better boogie. If anybody's ever curious, because I don't time my stuff out very well, like what I should do is say my last words, pause, then look down at the phone. Y'all are going to be thinking I'm texting and driving. What I'm actually doing is I'm using the GoPro app to turn the camera on and off so I don't have to be distracted and touch it. Way easier to just peek down. Oh, something went wrong. Preview failed to start. That's because the GoPro's recording. Way easier to just poke the red button on the phone than try to like lean up and fuss with the camera. So I try to do this whenever possible. I need to start getting better at like saying my last words, pausing, then hitting the button so I can cut it out and y'all don't think I'm texting and driving. One day I'll be a pro at this, but today you just get me doing my stuff. Whatever. Pause. Press the button. So instead of my delightful music I usually put over these time warp things, you're going to get me talking. But first, don't you love that music? That music, that's just free, like literally free, royalty-free stock music that like comes on the Power Director app. And I mean, that is like my favorite song. I loathe the day I switch over to the computer and maybe I won't be able to use that song. Y'all might be sick of it, but man, I just love it. I mean, it's just so good. Okay, why was I here? Oh yeah, so this is going to be a little bit of like, I don't know, Danception, primarily Ceptions, because I'm here now talking to you while you're watching the morning, and I'm going to be talking to you about later in the day while you're watching the morning. And I come to tell you that the video, it's not short because I do my Sadie bit. Oh, I let the cat out of the bag on that one. But it's short because it was another full computer day, which I'm blessed that I've gotten to spend the past several days just grinding on that. And I should get to spend tomorrow before I won't have as much time to devote to it. But, hello sirens. But I forgot to record any of it. Also, me just typing and duping and dopping probably doesn't make for the most thrilling content. So, not much of the day's doings. But that's just because I spent pretty much the entire day working on that project, which I'm just thrilled to have the time to be able to do that. It's not so much I have the time as I've made it a priority. So something I need to do more of, that I have not done enough of, or really any at all, is introducing you guys to these horses. Minis, big ones, talking to you about them and their story and why they're here, because for the most part, everybody's here for a reason. And the Patreon goes to support them in the reason. And I owe it to you guys to show you who you're supporting. So the first horse I want to introduce is Sadie. And she is not going to come say hi right now because she's busy cleaning up scraps from breakfast. And that is far more important than anything I have going on. If you hear that noise in the background, that is Buddy. He is going after the salt lick. Well, not now because he's shy, but that scraping is going to be him. So Sadie is a, oh shoot, she's in her early 20s. Miniature horse. Probably not, almost definitely not, purebred. She's too big, but she's super cute. Her old owners probably got her early 2000s, and she came along with Katie, who we'll meet another day. Her old owners got her early 2000s, and they were told she was pregnant. She was pretty round. And so they had a vet out to pregnancy check her, and the vet confirmed she is indeed pregnant. Hi, I'm going to follow you around if you leave, okay? Because we're talking about you. Hey, don't get the camera dirty. Don't get the camera dirty. I don't want to clean it. I don't want to clean it. Hi. Oh, my gosh. Hi. Hello. Yes, we're talking about you. The vet palpated her and confirmed that she was pregnant and she was going to give birth any day. Now, there's something wrong with that because she's a pretty big mini, but you don't palpate a mini rectally to preg check. They're too small. There's a huge risk of injury doing that to the minis. Now, if your vet's, oh, she's also boss woman. Don't ever forget it. If your vet is super fine boned, sometimes they can get away with it, but for the most part, you just don't do that. You can ultrasound and try to see, but you don't stick your arm up there. But the vet apparently did and confirmed that she was going to give birth any day, so he recommended the owners really pour her the feed because she needed the calories for the baby. Let's see if we get a little closer. It's like, you want to get close enough, you don't, garner her interest and bring her over. You don't bother her, but like, you can't be too far away or she can't see her. So, they started pouring her the feed. And a baby never came, but they kept pouring her the feed because any day now. And yes, she got rounder, but instead of a baby, they got founder. So that's where we came in, and she was cresty and fat patty and fat and sore. And so owners put her on a diet, in during the day, yes, hello, in during the day, out at night. Do you remember that? Yes. Got her off of the crap mare and foal feed onto a healthy feed, right? Yes, your Timothy pellets. Are you going to try to eat it? You can't eat it. It's not a treat. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. 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 Hi. I'm trying to tell a story. Man, this isn't going well. I'm trying to tell your story. Hi. Yes, hello. Mwah. I'm trying to tell your story. Oh my gosh, we're going to have to like go stand with Buzzy and just view you like an animal on the other side of the fence. Yeah? Go lick your salt. Act natural. Act natural. Oh, act natural. Oh, oh. We've smudged it now. Heck. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, we're back. So, she foundered. Got the diet cleaned up, got the hooves doing better, fixed the trim, and she recovered. She was always pretty tough to manage, but she recovered, and she did good for many years. Yes, she did. She did good for many years. And then, in, what was it? Was it 2015? The end of 2015? Yes, your old owners, they called me and they said you were down and you couldn't get up. Do you remember that? And they're local, so I went over, and were you up by then? I don't remember, but she didn't look good. She wasn't walking right. Oh, no, earlier in 2015 over the summer, she had recurrent abscesses. You can't eat my stuff. You can't eat my stuff. Recurrent abscess-like behavior in a hind foot, limping. Never blew an abscess. Happened off and on over the summer. Feet looked fine. And she did normal. But yeah, in the winter, she was down. They couldn't get her up. Don't remember if she was up by the time I got there, but I said, oh, this is strange. And I used to farm sit for them. So right after that episode, they went out of town, and I took care of her for a couple days, and it was one of those, is she walking a little weird? It was so cold. There's nothing, like, blatantly wrong, but she also, you know, it was just your gut. Oh, rude. Your gut made you feel like something wasn't quite right, but it wasn't not right enough to know. So, early 2016, she had another episode, called the vet out. I was there. Got some, I think at that point we snagged x-rays of her feet because she was walking bad. Snagged x-rays of her feet, pumped her full of medicine. I'm not sure what all they gave her now. And drew some blood. And the vet wanted me to, said, oh, it's her feet. You need to, you know, pad them and wrap them and whatever. So I went off to Lowe's and I got some foam and carpet and duct tape. And I made her little booties. She wore those for about 3 days. Didn't make a difference. Got the x-rays back, and everything was in alignment. She hadn't foundered. Took the booties off after those 3 days. Her hoof wall had completely separated from the bone inside. I mean, she was founder flared. And I said, I wish I got pictures of this, because these feet were not like this. These feet were not like this 3 days ago. It was insane. I don't know if it was the drugs or what had happened to her. So, we battled that. Blood work came back normal. Vet's recommendation after recommendation didn't work, to the point they stopped answering the owner's phone calls. We contacted, in the year 2016, we contacted everybody and tried everything. I was going over several times a week to get her up and walk her. Yes, because she was laying down so much, we were afraid she was just going to colic and die. She was on 100% soaked feed because she was down 23 hours a day. And when they're not moving, their gut, the motility in their gut isn't as active. And they do have a higher risk of colic. So 100% soaked food, so that stuff could just pass right through her. I remember sitting on the ground with her one night and just saying, you know, if you need to go, you can go. You know, don't stay for us. If you have to go, you can go. Nobody could tell us what was wrong with her. We tried. I mean, the list was ridiculous. So, winter was coming. Winter 2016 was coming. And the owners were older, and Sadie and Katie lived down a hill that could get, when it snowed, the owners couldn't safely get up and down it. And they were carrying so much food out to her to try to keep her weight that we offered, if they wanted to board them at our farm over the winter, you know, at least it would be a change. The move, as bad as Sadie was doing, the move might kill her, but at least it would be a change. And, you know, so no promises. And then they wouldn't have to care for them over the winter. And they agreed. So, put them in the trailer, brought them to Primarily Hooves, unloaded them, and I remember she was so excited, but she was so sore. She walked fast, but she didn't walk good down to come see everybody. And pretty much right off the bat, I had a little gelding named Piggy, and he fell in love with her. He'd lived with mares. He fell in love with her in a weird way, and bred her multiple times. Within a week, Sadie was moving better. Within a week. Yes. Basically, after that first week, she just kept getting better and better and better. And then she started doing great. Yes, she started doing great. I started taking her on hikes and lunging her and doing things with her. Yes. Hi. Hello. Oh, you're so cute. You're going to bite me again. Yes, you don't need to bite me. So, like, what the heck is that about, you know? So, the theory is that she had a retained follicle, causing, you know, really, I guess, hormonal laminitis, but you almost acted like it was endotoxic. She was so, I remember, and I didn't know, we could never figure out what this was. She was so uncomfortable to touch her. See, I'm touching her belly. She doesn't care. She was so uncomfortable to touch her belly when she didn't feel good. I mean, wing around and just try to take a chunk out of you. You knew it hurt, but nobody could tell us why. Makes a lot of sense. Girly trouble. And he loosened it. He loosened it. He freed it. He released it. I'm not a reproductive expert, so I'm not going to tell you I know the stick in your tail terminology, but I watched and it was real. This is 2016, so ever since then she's been doing great. The owners kept them boarded with us over the winter, and when spring came, hi Katie, when spring came, this isn't about you today. When spring came, they said, you know, we're really afraid to take her home. She's doing so good with you guys. Will you just keep her? And what are you going to do? You know? So we said yes. And here she's been. She had since 2016, so that's 6 years. She's had one episode that lasted one day where I knew she wasn't right, you know? Hi. And I said, uh-oh, because Piggy, unfortunately, has passed on. It's interesting. He bred her. 2 weeks later, he colicked. We did 4 days of intense, you know, hospitalization because he was young and couldn't save him. And you almost feel like she gave him, or he took from her. You know, she got to go on and live, and at the cost of him. Interesting, just interesting. I'm sure they're unrelated, but it's definitely interesting. But she is certainly living her best life. She has gone and she's seen the handicapped. She has dressed up in costume to go see the handicapped. She has gone to nursing homes and has visited with the residents of the nursing homes. She has gotten to give back a little bit to society, which is awesome. But she is a permanent resident and she is a successful rehab. I personally think she would probably done fine going back to the owners, but we are happy to have her. Miss Sadie, can you thank everybody who watches the videos and subscribes to the Patreon? Yes, because that Patreon, the money we raise from that Patreon, that goes to support you. Yes, it does. That goes to support you. So you can keep living the, oh shoot, what's the saying? Living the, it's not quality of life you've become accustomed to, but, oh, you can keep enjoying the lifestyle you've become accustomed to. Yes. So this is Sadie. I'll try when I have the time. Probably not every day, but we'll do meet somebody and tell you their story as often as we can. Yes, everybody's got a story. Some stories are similar. Some came together. I think you could probably guess who came together. But they each have a story all their own, and they each have their special, unique needs. I guess I should finish with saying Sadie's lifestyle now. It's amazing how easy she is to care for. We wondered if she had Cushing's because of how she grows a hair coat, and so we treated her with the herbal blend for a while, but there's not a big difference, her on it and her off of it. She always sheds. She just sheds early and grows in her coat late and gets a wonderful thick coat. She is not, other than that one episode probably 3 years ago now that lasted 24 hours, she has had no hoof issues. Super sound. Very active. She's a girl, so she doesn't run and play as much as the boys do, but when she gets going, she gets going. She is the herd leader. My minis are all on the same schedule. They are out on pasture at night, and they're mostly in during the day. Minis need a little bit more than big horses do because they're more prone to hyperlipidemia, and which, if I'm remembering, is where the body goes into ketosis, and the liver has to start trying to break down fat, and that fat gets released into the bloodstream. Maybe the ketosis causes the fat to be released into the bloodstream, which then the liver has to deal with, and it can harm their liver. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, and I need to look it up again. But they're prone, if they don't eat for, too long. So my minis have access to that really barren hillside all day, which they'll go out, they'll pick a little bit, they'll come in here and they'll stand. But just to make sure they don't ever have nothing. Though I do monitor weights really closely, and that works really, really well. If they're getting a little fat, then I take them off better nighttime pasture, maybe put them on poor nighttime pasture, maybe even just run them on their hillside every other night, not let them go get good pasture, because if they're fat, the hillside's doing more than enough, you know? So I modulate that way. The hillside's mostly wooded, so there's not a whole lot of daytime grass, but there's enough for them to pick and go in the woods and pick and keep, you know, a little something going through them, so we don't risk the hyperlipidemia. But no overly special care at this point. She officially gets the status of normal, the normal mark of approval. Yes. See, all this is just coat. Her ribs are right under there. She has a waistline, something a lot of minis don't have. We stand behind her. You'll notice, you can sort of see some belly fluff, but not too badly. And if we go above her, her little belly pokes out just a bit, but again, there's a lot of fluff there. If I don't know if I can put my hand on here and see all that fluff. And so that's something to keep mindful of, is it hair or is it fat? Because sometimes people say it's, hi, yeah, it's not fat. Sometimes people will say, oh, it's just hair, when no, it's fat. Other times people think it's fat, it's just hair. So really having your hands on them is the only surefire way to keep honest and stay accurate with where they are. All right, moral of the story: like the video, subscribe to the Patreon. You're going to be helping little horses like Sadie get what they need. She's not the most needy now, but she still has basic needs, and I've got others who are far more needy, and we'll meet them another day. It's disgusting, it's rainy, and there's poor light. So we're not going to record tonight. We're just going to say, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy meeting Sadie. I hope you look forward to more of that kind of stuff in the future. Here's my lens cap in my hand. And I hope you all stay dry and safe tonight. It's going to be, at least in our area, wet and windy. So, have a good night. Say good night, puppies. Say good night, puppies. Puppies, say good night. Puppies, say good night.